Welcome back to the program. Now, next week, Tuesday, Senate, hopefully, are set to meet again for the 10th time to find a way forward on the divisive revenue formula that has proven quite difficult. It's something that's actually captured the nation at a time like this. And the move now to find consensus is a big discussion right now, with the Senate forming a bipartisan committee that is working on that. And we'll be seeking answers on what is the possibility of a consensus deal from Majority Whip Irungu Kang'ata, who has been very, very vocal on this matter. In addition, we'll also be hearing from a representative or someone who's declared himself a member of Team Kenya, Senator Cleophas Malala, who's also been through quite some experience over the last 36 hours, and I'll be speaking with him shortly on the same. But first, let me start with the Majority Whip. And Majority Whip, thank you so much for patiently waiting for this interview. We appreciate your time on Newsnight tonight. I first want to find out from you, on this 10th attempt to find a way forward on this, with you as the Majority Whip, a very influential position in Senate, how do you rate your performance so far, especially on the matter of this formula?
Let me say that I do not think it is fair for me to rate myself. It would have been better if others could rate me. But be that as it may, I'm glad to report that we started as 10 senators who are pushing this agenda that we need to have a third generation formula. And then we moved to about 15 senators. And then we moved to about 22 senators. And of course, yesterday, remember, we were able to win 2 votes. There was the 1 vote that was opposing an application for adjournment, and then the 2nd vote to push for addition for more time to discuss that issue. In fact, we won with about 31 votes. To me, it has been an incremental success. Taking into account this agenda ought to have come to the Senate way back in 2015, but for one reason or another, those who were in Senate leadership then refused to bring this issue because it's so contentious. But those of us who came into leadership now decided, no, we need to take this issue forward so that we ensure we have an equitable sharing of national revenue amongst counties.
Senator, let me jump in there, and it's your right to say that you don't want to rate yourself, but of course, let me tell you what is being said out there, what has been said on the floor of the House by some senators, actually more of on social media, that you, as a Majority Whip, together the Majority Leader, all new management, new brooms that were meant to sweep clean any challenges that Jubilee experienced, for example, have struggled to rally the House in the right direction to support this particular formula. What do you say to those who feel that even with ODM support, with the handshake, that it's been an uphill task for your leadership?
Let me say that the truth is, the issue that we are trying to sell to the House is an issue that is so sensitive that the former leadership deliberately refused to bring it to the floor of the House. It was a deliberate move on the part of the former leadership. And for some good reasons and some other issues that I may not want to discuss now. Reason being, in 2009, there was a census that was carried. That census was rigged. After the rigging and corruption that followed that census, the National Assembly was informed by the then Planning Minister of the Republic of Kenya, Minister Oparanya, that the government wants to redo that census so that they can plan based on accurate data. But once he made that declaration, 2012, some people went to court, they challenged that decision, and they were successful, but it was a very unfair and an illegal judgment that was rendered. The government of Kenya appealed against that decision of the High Court, and in the year 2016, the Court of Appeal vacated the decision of the High Court. And so therefore, some people have been maneuvering to ensure that Kenya money is being shared among counties using erroneous data. It has been a very, very powerful lobby group, and it has been torpedoing government business to ensure that issue is never discussed by the Senate. Remember, the first generation formula.
Who are the members of this lobby group? Some of the things you're saying today, I haven't quite heard you speaking before. Who are the members of this lobby group? What is their agenda?
It is some persons who come from the regions that were said to have rigged this so-called formula. I do not want to mention them because I do not want to profile a certain region, and I think it will be quite uncivil on my part to do so. But be that as it may, it is a fact that 2009 census was rigged. It's also a fact that based on that census, government resources at the counties have been devolved using erroneous data. It is only in 2016 that government was able to win a case in the Court of Appeal to set aside that data. But it was only so many years after they had started planning, and therefore it was quite impossible on the part of the government to now start correcting that data because time had passed. And therefore, when the government in 2016 won the case in the Court of Appeal, it took that issue to the Senate. The leadership of the Senate then failed to offer leadership and to vacate that erroneous data. And therefore, it was an issue that has been swept under the carpet. So when those of us came into the leadership of the Senate saying, okay, we know this issue is so hot, but we have no obligation. We have to do that which needs to be done. That is to correct that historical error. But of course, we knew the forces that we are fighting were quite they were quite forceful in pushing the agenda. But be that as it may, we decided to do the correct thing. Of course, as I have reported, we started as 10 senators who wanted to take this course. Okay. We graduated to about 15, and now yesterday we were able to win several votes based on our effort to try
Majority
to
Whip, sorry for interrupting, and yes, thank you for helping our viewers understand the journey you've walked through. But of course, you also know that the court declared the disputed 2009 census results valid. So it's your word against the courts on this one. But let me ask you this. You're accusing certain unnamed counties or the leadership of certain counties.
Allow me to correct.
Go ahead.
It is the High Court that declared the 2009 results valid. But that decision was vacated in 2016 by a 5-judge bench of the Court of Appeal. Please check your records. Check your records.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I will do that and get back to you on that. But that doesn't still take away from my next question, which is this. You're accusing certain leaders of particular counties of possibly rigging a census. Again, very strong statement that you're making this evening to get benefit for their citizens in terms of revenue allocation. But at the same time, this weekend, Majority Whip, you made a statement that some would say was very ethnic in its nature. You said that you want stronger allocation for Mount Kenya region as President Uhuru Kenyatta prepares to exit. What did you mean by that? Why Mount Kenya region, and who are you speaking to? Who are you addressing that to when you made that statement?
Let me say that the greatest beneficiaries of the so-called third generation formula will not be Mount Kenya at all. And I wish you have that list of the proposed main beneficiary of that formula. In fact, among the top 10...
my issue is with the statement you made.
Yes.
The statement you made, yes. Majority Whip.
Yes, I'm aware of that statement, but I'm trying to contextualize that statement and state that that statement must be taken into account that Mount Kenya is not the largest or the biggest beneficiary. Number one will be Nairobi, which for me it deserves. Number two will be counties like Nandi, Uasin Gishu, Kakamega, Kiambu comes in at about number 5. Counties like Bungoma, such counties. So therefore, let me say that that generation formula aims to benefit the people of Kenya. It is not a Mount Kenya agenda at all. It is an agenda of the people of this Republic of Kenya. That statement must be taken within the politics that is now underlying this country. You see a person saying on the floor of the House, I do not want to mention my colleagues because they remain my close friends. A person saying, I am ready to ensure that my county does not gain even a single cent on the basis a certain county in Central is going to gain. I've seen senators say that, and for me, I thought that is quite unfair, and we need to correct that so that it is clear that we do not want to pit regions against regions, counties against counties. But please check the Hansard record. There are senators who have gone on record saying they better but they don't allow certain counties in Central gain even a single shilling because of perceived historical benefits that have been accruing certain counties in Central. In fact, that friend of mine mentioned Kiambu. I do not mention him, but you can check.
And Majority Whip, that is what, sorry for interrupting you on this one, that is what concerns many viewers today, that not a simple discussion, obviously a complex one on revenue division, but bearing in mind 316.5 billion is not the total amount of money that is available in this country. We have trillions and over 3 trillion that stays within the national government. Many are concerned that this is now taking very ethnic tones. And even the statement you've said now worries me, that a discussion that should have been a lot more balanced now seems to be going a completely different way. As Majority Whip, what is your position on how to bring the parties together to ensure that this revenue formula discussion doesn't get out of hand as it is threatening to?
Yes, you are right that this Republic of Kenya belongs to every ethnic group. We also are one Kenya. We must ensure that we remain as one country. And I strongly believe that regions like Marsabit, Isiolo, Garissa, those counties will definitely be the drivers of development in this country. We have seen other countries like America, Israel, leveraging on the so-called arid and semi-arid regions. And therefore, I agree that even if we are pushing that we pass this third generation formula, that doesn't mean that we do not positively look at those other regions. We should not look this issue from an ethnic point of view. I took a lot of exception to those senators who on the floor of the House seems to say they better lose than allow other regions to gain. To me, that was quite unfair. I believe that Kenya belongs to each and every Kenyan, irrespective of his where he comes from, his religion, his whatever orientation that person comes from. And therefore, we should strive to ensure the discussion does not become regional, ethnic, or even sectarian.
Majority Whip, I'll come back to you shortly to give you a chance to tell us what you believe is the way forward. Something? What are you... Okay, briefly, because I need to also give Senator Malala a chance to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, the issue concerning about the so-called 80% of the money that's usually left at the national government. Let me say, an average Kenyan, whether in Central or even in Kisumu or even in Mombasa or even in Northeastern, he does not interact very much with the national government. You'll find the common problems afflicting common Kenyans are health, schooling, roads. All those things have been devolved. When you look at the Constitution, Chapter 4 of the Constitution, Schedule 4, you will see the division of functions. Vast majority of those functions are with the counties. For example, when you get sick as a common person, you will go to a hospital that is owned by the county government. When you want to get bursary, most likely you go seeking bursary from your MCA or even to your governor. When you want your road done, you will definitely go to an MCA or even to the governor. And therefore, the issue of ensuring that our counties are well resourced, for me, is an issue that is quite important. And I also agree with the whole endeavor to push more resources to the counties as opposed to allowing vast majority of resources to be retained at the national level.
Okay, Majority Whip, I think I've given you enough time, and I will still give you a bit more time after this, but let me bring in Senator Malala. And Senator, thank you still for staying on. Once again, I am very aware of what a long last couple of hours you've had. Did you get a chance to watch the video? Have you had a chance to catch up with what happened in Senate yesterday? What are your thoughts on what happened there, the performance of the Speaker, and the bipartisan committee that has now been formed to try and find a way forward by next week, Tuesday? Senator Malala?
Yeah, I think I was able to follow up on the debate in the Senate yesterday. And first of all, even before I comment on that, I would like to come in and rank my colleague, Senator Kang'ata. He said he cannot rank himself, but I would like to rank him as follows. Senator Kang'ata is a very good leader. He is a charismatic leader. He's a young leader, very energetic. But the biggest undoing with him is a dictator. and those are very bad traits of a young leader. He has double speak.
Can you quantify that?
Yeah, I want to quantify that. He has double speak because you remember when he wanted the NASA coalition to support his amendments, he threatened that if we do not support his amendments, then he shall be done, or the Mount Kenya region will be done with BBI. And again, yesterday, he said that if at all the senators who are inclined to Tanga movement vote against his amendments, then the Mount Kenya vote will be an elusive dream to them. So I would want to wonder, how many votes does Mount Kenya hold? Do they vote twice? Because he's blackmailing everybody to ensure that his formula passes. I would want to beseech upon my good leader to be persuasive as he approaches this issue. This issue has hit a stalemate because of his approach, dictatorial approach. He threatens people, including me. He even threatened me that my KRA account will be frozen. My bank accounts will be frozen. And indeed, they were frozen. He is the deep state of the Senate.
Okay. These are hold on there, Senator. Those are strong, very strong allegations you're making. He threatened you, or a personal threat in regards to your bank account?
Yes, it was on a light note, but eventually it came to pass because eventually my bank accounts were frozen and the KRA was on my neck, coming fictitious figures. So I'm not sure whether it was intentional or he had known about the freezing of my account earlier. So I would like just to urge Senator Kang'ata to be persuasive in his approach while dealing with this matter. Second, I want to thank the senators.
Okay, now, I have to give him a chance. Hold on, Senator. I have to give him a chance to respond. I think no one will be comfortable having such statements made their way and they don't get a chance to respond. Majority Whip, do you have any response to that? Is that true?
First is to say that I'm a little bit surprised with what my brother is saying on the national TV. Reason being that he's my personal friend, and before we commenced this show, we agreed on certain rules of engagement. We agreed that we shall not be personal, we shall not bring fake news, we shall not bring politics here. And he seems, my brother, to be breaching that gentleman's agreement. I know a lot about my brother, which I will not disclose on the national TV. I give him the liberty to talk lies, to just malign my name for no good reason. But I can tell you, my brother, I will not be drawn into a personal fight where you just want to attack me for no good reason at all. That is what we call in logic. It's something we call you attacking the personality instead of attacking the issue. And for me, I think that's not a level of an intellectual debate. I would propose that is an issue that we should take it elsewhere, not at this level where we are discussing strong issues that are affecting the society. I say that because surely me have no power to freeze his accounts at all. I can never tell him, he knows I did not tell him that at all. He just wants to become a little bit personal. And for me, surely, I think that it is not within us, those of us who discuss complex issues of societies. We should just deal with issues one can be able to bring evidence. He knows me, I don't control Kenya Revenue Authority at all. I don't have such powers. I asked my brother using logic, being reasonable, instead of becoming personal at all. I think at this level, we should be objective and not personalizing issues which we are dealing. And for me, I say not true.
Okay. I wanted to give you a chance to have an immediate right of reply to that. Senator Malala, you can now carry on with your second point.
Before I go to my second point, I would want to tell my good brother, Senator Kang'ata, that these are not personal attacks. In fact, I'm very serious on this issue because a fortnight ago, Senator Kang'ata insinuated and told me, if you do not vote with us, and that's why I even came on national television and said that I will not be intimidated by any lobbyist who is trying to deter my thoughts on my stand in the Senate. And one of the lobbyists who are trying to intimidate me is Senator Kang'ata, and I must say this so that Kenyans know that I've taken a position as the good senator of Kakamega. And even last time when you saw Senator Kang'ata wanting to advance his narrative so that we can vote for his amendment, he went along trying to incite even the electorate of Kakamega that, come on, your county is gaining and your senator is voting against this thing. And I even called him and told him, Senator Kang'ata, we are voting on the basis of personal principles. And if you want to convince me otherwise, do not blackmail me. That's why I started by saying he's a very good leader, a very charismatic leader, a very intellectual leader, though he's a dictator and he uses political blackmail to ensure he achieves.
Okay, I think you've used the word dictator more than.
Let me first.
Go ahead, Senator Kang'ata. But before that, I want Senator Malala to say that on this show, please don't call anyone a dictator. I think whatever you're trying to describe, there are more respectable terms to use. Senator Kang'ata, Majority Whip, go ahead.
Let me say that my brother will call me a dictator. Me, I'll call him a good person and a gentleman. My brother will talk lies about me. Me, I'll tell him he's a good man and a person who can go far. He rose from being an MCA to being a senator, and I'm happy with that. He knows also of my history, and we share a lot. And I think as young leaders, we should not be assassinating the character of each other. We need each other to move as a country. And for me, that politics of coming to the national television to attack your fellow colleague, that does not belong at this level of the Senate, my brother. That is another level of politics. We should be debating issues, not coming on this national TV to lie. He knows. It is true, of course. I agree. The people of Kakamega County, they are gaining billions of money if they were to support that generation formula. It is not me who have stated that. It is in black and white. It has been published in several newspapers, and every person, I strongly believe, knows that in Kakamega. But I never incited the people of Kakamega. I have never even mentioned his name in any of my discussions at all. I have never, and he knows that. So for me saying that I incited the people of Kakamega against him, it is not true. I would urge him to bring even a single clip where I mentioned him and I mentioned the people of Kakamega. He remains my friend. You may want to view me as your enemy, my brother. I can tell you can never be my enemy. You continue becoming my brother, a person I would want him to prosper in politics. Because when I see young people prospering in politics, I am happy, because this country needs new blood. It needs new ideas so that we can make Kenya one great Kenya. When I see you prospering in Western Kenya, when I see my other young leaders prospering in Rift Valley, when I see young people prospering in politics in Central Kenya, I am so happy. That is the Kenya we need. One love, togetherness, so that we make Kenya a great nation.
Senator, Majority Whip, I think you've really passed your message across. Before I allow Senator Malala to respond to that, let me ask you this. One, we've heard of allegations of lobbying to the extent where you are told your bank accounts will be frozen, something could happen with your taxes, etc. As Majority Whip, someone who is in touch with what's happening in the House, have you heard of such allegations? And more importantly, why do you think Senator Malala was arrested yesterday? I'm sure a man of your stature in Senate would by now have an idea. Why do you think he was arrested?
I do not know,
Majority
by the way. No, I do not know at all. By the way, my brother can confirm, unless maybe he wants to lie. I called him. I told him I'm with him. I'm really sympathizing with his cause, and I wish him well. And we had a very, very good conversation. And he can confirm that. And I do not know why he was arrested yesterday. I was the first person to raise that issue. I'm among the first senators to complain against such arrest. I hope it was not connected with the proceedings of yesterday. I have been a student leader who has been fighting against injustice by governments, by police. I don't believe in police brutality. I hope his arrest had nothing to do with events of yesterday. By the way, some of those senators who are arrested are people who have been supporting these amendments, these so-called third generation basis. A good example is Dr. Kang'ata. Look at his voting record. He supported my first motion. Look at it. It is there in black and white.
Okay.
He supported my original motion. And therefore, when he was arrested yesterday, I was surprised because this is my supporter. He has been supporting my causes. And therefore, I would urge my brother that I am so sorry what happened yesterday. I hope it has nothing to do with the vote that we carried yesterday. And I'm going to pray for you. And I'm going to stand with you. Give me instructions. I'm going to defend you in court pro bono for free.
Okay. Senator Malala, you look like you really want to come in on the back of that passionate plea by Majority Whip there.
I'm very happy in the manner in which Senator Kang'ata is expressing himself, and you might even want to confuse him with a bishop of a church, because the rendition of his words today seems to be contradicting with his actions when he wants to whip somebody or de-whip somebody. I will still maintain my position on his character as a very young, energetic leader, charismatic, intellectual, but I will not, this time around, I will not use a dictator, but a leader who does not want to pursue the route of consensus, but just to dictate people to move to his direction and adopt his school of thought. That said and done, I want to thank,
allow me to interject at this level.
No. Majority Whip, you have to give Senator Malala his chance. Majority Whip, I'll give you a chance.
Yes. I want to thank...
Malala, go ahead.
I want to thank the senators who contributed to the debate of adjournment yesterday, and Senator Kang'ata was one of them. I felt very appreciated as a member of the Senate, seeing my colleagues demanding for my release and wanting to know how I'm faring on. I felt very passionate about the debate because, Wahiga, as you realize that the Senate is a very important house. Important in the sense that we make decisions that affect the counties. And it is very unfair for a decision of such a magnitude as giving out monies to the county is made, yet as the Senator for Kakamega County, who was delegated the sovereign power by the people of Kakamega to come and represent them on the floor of the House, is not present during such an important sitting. So I want to thank members who advocated for the adjournment motion, Senator Kang'ata being one of them. That was a special move for them, and it showed that Senate is a unified house. However, I would like to state categorically that my arrest yesterday was politically motivated, as I said earlier, because how can it be a coincidence that on the eve of the real voting of the third generation formula, 3 senators are arrested from different parts of this country? When you look at those senators who are arrested, Senator Kang'ata had crossed the floor. Senator Kang'ata was no longer going to vote with Senator Kang'ata. Senator Lelegwe was not voting with Senator Kang'ata. I was not voting with Senator Kang'ata. And therefore, I have all the reasons to believe that our arrests were politically motivated, because all of us were not charged. I was taken to Mumias police station. I slept in the cold under a tree, not even in the cell, only to be released in the morning and told, go home, you are a free man. So I would want to request the DCI, as I said before, to be serious about the execution of his mandate. The DCI and the DPP, those are independent constitutional offices, and it's very important for them not to use the privileges of their office to intimidate members and want them to play a certain tune. As I reiterated yesterday, that parliamentary democracy is very important. Let people vote, let people debate in a sober way, so that whatever decision they make on the floor of the House is not dictated by outside forces. Second, on the issue of party position,
Senate,
I have been told so much about party position in Parliament, and I want to ask the Chief Whip. he has really used that tool of party position to even intimidate nominated senators to vote in a certain way, or certain senators to vote in a certain, so long as you belong in a certain party. I want to remind them, yes, we were nominated or we were voted in through certain umbrellas to come to the Senate. But remember, as the Senator for Kakamega, I represent the people of Kakamega in as much as I came through a party, but I am accountable directly to the people of Kakamega. And therefore, it is unparliamentary every time for the chief whip to come and say, this is the party position, vote in this direction. If you don't vote in this direction, you will be the whipped. I want to say that we are setting a very bad precedent in parliament, and as young leaders, let us allow parliamentary democracy so that leaders can air out their views in an amicable way without being intimidated.
Okay.
Direct to the point now, on the issue of the third generation formula, the bipartisan committee that has been formed yesterday, I have a lot of confidence in that committee. When you look at the composition of that committee, I have a lot of confidence in that committee. As a leader who has been in the extreme side of Team Kenya, I want to implore upon my colleagues at the Senate that whatever decision the bipartisan committee will come up with, kindly let us take up that decision and own that decision as the Senate, because we have delegated our powers of negotiation to that bipartisan committee. And therefore, it is important that we bring this matter to a close when we resume next time. I have a lot of confidence we are going to have a win-win formula that is going to unite this country. What I was against for was that we do not want a formula.
Senator, let me allow Majority Whip to also come in, because I'll give you a final word. Okay, just hang on there. And I must say, I like your optimism, Senator Malala.
Waiga, just before you go back to my Majority Whip, I was advocating for a win-win formula for because of this reason, Mr. Wahiga. It is very bad for us to have a divided country whereby we have 18 counties which are losing and we have 29 counties which are gaining. My proposal to this was that we are struggling with the 316 shareable revenue, according to the CARA. My suggestion is, why don't the national government increase the allocation to counties? And then this stalemate will have been solved naturally. So I want to implore upon President Uhuru Kenyatta to consider increasing the shareable revenue from 316 to 348. That is what Senator Petronila is trying to propose, though it is illegal and not practicable for you to amend the county allocation revenue bill through an amendment of a report. But I will be supporting any resolutions brought about by the bipartisan committee, which was formed yesterday.
Okay, thank you for bringing that up. And that was one of the questions I was actually going to come to. But let me give Majority Whip a chance to respond. Also, as you tell us whether you have your full confidence in that committee, chaired by, I believe it's Honorable Moses Wetangula and Honorable Johnson Sakaja, and whether by next week, Tuesday, Majority Whip, Kenyans might finally hear the last of this very divisive discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Wahiga, for that question, and also my brother there, my brother Malala from Kakamega. Let me say again, my brother has attacked me personally, which I think is not fair. But when you attack me, I'm a humble person. I'll never attack you back. You remain my brother. He said that we do not pursue a consensus way of dealing with this issue. I will give him examples of ways that we have tried to bring everyone together. It is them who have refused to come together. We discuss as we are being ready for a discussion. I'll give you several examples. There was a time that it was decided that we form a committee. It was proposed that they give 5 names, we give 5 names. The original person who was set to chair that committee was Honorable Senator Professor Kamara. But they said, no, she is partisan. Okay, Speaker said, okay, I can become the chair. He became the chair, but they never gave out the names. And us, we had given out the names. So meaning us, we are being peaceful, making every effort to be together. That Sunday, myself, I told everyone to come for nyama choma. I used my own money. I cooked a lot of nyama choma, and I invited everyone, including my brother Malala. But they refused to come. It was noted that 80% of the persons who had confirmed to come for my nyama choma were Team Katiba, those who are supporting the third generation formula. Team Kenya refused to come to my nyama choma. So we thought, okay, it is unfair for us to go on with the nyama choma. Team Kenya doesn't want negotiations. They want to continue fighting. As we are peaceful, we want togetherness. So we do not want a skewed nyama choma. So we thought, okay, we put it aside. So until the day my brothers from the other side, they agree to come together, we reason together. So us, we have been pursuing the path of reconciliation, of peace, of wanting us to come up with a good way forward. Remember, originally, when the committee report proposed how to solve this issue, they did not come up with a cushioning mechanism. I myself, I talked with the committee. They agreed to my proposal that we give a 1-year transition period so that no one loses money this year. I thought my brother would agree. They refused. I then said, okay, let us give them 2 years proposal. In fact, that idea was given to me by none other than Honorable Senator, Senior Counsel, Senator for Nyamira County, Omogeni. But despite that,
majority,
they refused.
If I may just, no, I'm going to allow you to carry on. Good. If I may just come in, why are you not postponing a problem?
Well, these were ideas that were being given by our colleagues on how we can solve that issue. Remember that proposal of about 2 years transition was given to me by Honorable Senator Omogeni, who is amongst the senators who think that they are going to lose so much if this formula was to apply this year. And once I brought it, again, they moved away from that decision and they started to fight it again. I asked them, okay, I gave you 1 year, you refused. I gave you 2 years, you refused. What is the problem? They said, we do not want square root. This committee formula has a square root problem. Okay, I said, it's okay. We gave them another option that does not have a square root. Again, they refused. Surely, we have done our best. Remember, now, we are happy. Yesterday, maybe after they saw those several defeats, they agreed for us to form a committee. And I'm happy they have agreed to send their representative into those committees. I agree with my brother on this one. We are together. They support the committee recommendations. They agree that whatever will be made decision that will be rendered by that committee, they are going to abide to it. Even myself, I want to say on national TV, I have faith with each and every senator who is in that committee. They are distinguished senators, very intellectually gifted. They are people of integrity, and I will abide by whatever decision they are going to make. I have full confidence with the two co-chairs of that committee and the membership of that committee. I urge each senator also to support that process, and whatever decision is going to be rendered on Tuesday, personally, I'm ready to abide to it. I want one Senate. I want one Kenya. I believe each and every county in this country has something to contribute to the well-being of this society.
Okay.
Kenya.
Majority Whip, that sounds like a parting shot from you. And of course, we've also heard from Senator Malala. Also, both of you basically saying your trust is in that committee. Some Kenyans are asking tonight, we hope that committee will not be manipulated because they are a smaller number. But gentlemen, I think that's how we are going to conclude. Thank you for coming on this show to share your thoughts after a very long day for obviously Senator Malala. And obviously it's been a busy couple of weeks for you, Majority Whip, so we appreciate you finding time for us on Newsnight. Senator Malala, just before we wrap up, do you now have access to your accounts?
Yeah, I cleared with KRA. I think the main issue with KRA was that my former employer had not remitted the pay-as-you-earn tax. So it was not an issue related to me directly. It was an issue related to the Kakamega County Assembly, which had not remitted the payee monies to the KRA. But the matter was settled. I have a clearance and a tax compliance certificate. And right now, I can even buy my good Senator Kang'ata tea in the local restaurant.
Now see, my brother, you can see it was not politically motivated. You see, it is political propaganda. As we are peaceful people, he has conceded that his freezing of the accounts had nothing to do with politics. See, maybe even your arrest had nothing to do with politics. Maybe, I don't know. So I'm trying to argue, as we believe in peaceful ways of settling issues, not fighting. Thank you.
Says Pastor Kang'ata.
You've gone from calling him a dictator to a pastor within the same interview. My goodness. Okay, Senator Malala, thank you for clarifying that. Even though the timing, many would ask, was rather suspicious, but thank you for giving us that clarification even as we wrap up the program. Gentlemen, to both of you, I know you've had long days. Let me release you and let you go and take your rest. Kenyans eagerly waiting to see the work of this committee and hoping that next week, Tuesday, will be the last of a debate that we've had on this show for a very, I feel like we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. And in many ways, 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Before we wrap up the program, let me read some of your feedback. This is what Kenyans are saying tonight after listening to the thoughts of their 2 leaders. E. Nyamwaro says, at the end of it all, it seems there was a positive outcome of this incident. It brought unity and near consensus, which we hope will put an end to the divisive revenue formula and bring sanity to the Senate. Someone has said, Cleophas Malala, kudos for your take on the divisive revenue formula. This is Richard Mahmoud, but you say you are worried that it will be easy for whoever is forcing a formula to manipulate the committee simply because their number is small. Okay, let me see if I can just take you through one more. One was asking for the ODPP to investigate the arrest of the senators on the eve of such a momentous vote on the floor of Senate. So really appealing for that. Karis Njeru says, I see what Senator Kang'ata is doing to Senator Malala, neutralizing his fires. Very smart guy. While Joseph Makumi Munga believes the 3 senators were arrested on political grounds, the intention was to make the opposer side to lack numbers, but they applaud Kang'ata for doing a good job, but it was very unsuccessful. And some of you are sending questions that we simply don't have time for at this time. Thank you so much for your feedback. The hashtag has been Newsnight, SMS line 22422. On behalf of the whole team that makes this program possible, I say asante sana. And of course, I've not been doing this alone. My sign language interpreter has been Yulan Zale. My director, Monica, she needs no other introduction. You know her. Jeff will probably say her name again tomorrow, even as she directs that show. Thank you so much, and the whole team that's worked on making this home edition possible. Asante sana. Have a good night. Stay safe wherever you are, and we'll see you again soon. My name is Wahiga Mwaura.